Okay, sorry about that. All right, let's see here. Okay, so hold up. Oh, yeah, I have to do that. Okay, just copy that, paste that hole here. So Blue Wolf is here. Sorry, I'm just all over the place today. Okay, all right. So, hi everyone. I am Team 15, and welcome to my rant stream of the Suicide Squad movies. So, so today. Oh, I'm gonna be upfront with you guys. I don't really have much to say on these movies. I didn't even bother typing my points beforehand because again, I'm not gonna have much to say anyway. Kind of like with the Venom movies, where it's like I watched them, I liked them, I don't have much to say about them, and to be honest, they're just not very good. Although the Suicide Squad movies are better than the Venom movies, I mean, I'll have more to say on the Suicide Squad movies, but it's just like I still don't have much to say. So yeah, let me pull up the chat on my phone really fast. So let's start with the film chronology. So Suicide Squad. I don't know why the fuck DC decided to name the movies. These two movies. I don't know why they gave them similar titles, but whatever. So Suicide Squad came out in 2016, and I actually watched it in theaters when it came out. I remember watching it with my family. And I remember liking the movie then, but it's not as good as I remembered it, unfortunately. Sorry. But back then I actually enjoyed it quite a bit. And then the Suicide Squad came out in 2021. But I watched it in like 2022, like several months after it came out. Like I watched it like early 2022 because it was one of the movies I watched on my flight on like one of my flights to Africa because I flew to Nigeria and then back. I think I watched the Suicide Squad movie on the way back. I don't even remember because like I had to take multiple flights to and back. But like the Suicide Squad movie was one of the movies I watched on an airplane. So I watched it like not long after it had been released. So um I don't remember liking the second movie that much the first time I watched it, but the second time I actually enjoyed it a bit more. So it's weird because like I flip flopped. It's like I used to like the first movie, and kind of dislike the second movie, but now it's like, I'm kind of feeling on the first movie, but on the second movie, I actually kind of like it more now. I don't know. It's just weird, but oh, and I have a copyright claim on my rant stream from yesterday. What the fuck ever. Okay, makes me wonder why I even bother with YouTube sometimes, but whatever. Okay, so so you saw the second movie on HBO Max while you were on vacation, Maple. Well, I was on vacation when I was, when I was going to Africa, which I'm sure you guys have already guessed, but like, yeah, like, so I was like, okay, so let me just watch one of these movies. So that's what I just saw it like during the flight. I was like, oh, well, I'm gonna just watch this one. I didn't know there was a second movie at first. I was like, I knew that there was a first movie, but I never knew that there was a second movie until I saw it like listed among the movies on the flight. So I was like, okay, I'll just watch that one. You saw both movies in the theaters, Blue Wolf? Oh, okay. Okay. Cool. Copyright for talking about the movie, not showing clips. Although, I mean, to be fair, I did play a snippet of the Scuttlebutt song in the live stream. That was probably what did it, but it wasn't a very long snippet. All I just did was play like maybe like the first 30, 45 seconds. I mean, that's still technically enough for a copyright strike, but it's not that much. And plus, I saw other people play the song for even longer than that. So I don't know. And their videos didn't get taken down, so I don't fucking know. I only played like the very first part, and that was it. So whatever. Oh, and by the way, there's apparently an extended cut of the first movie, which I haven't seen, so I'm not going to be talking about that. Um, but yeah, Maple, yeah, like yeah, that's the thing. Like, I kind of agree with Maple, whereas the first one was a mess and the second one actually wasn't. Although the second one, to be honest, I feel like I like the idea of the first one more than the second, but I feel like the second has better execution. I don't know why. To me, the second had a bit of a rough start, but then just got better, whereas the first one had a great start and then just kind of floundered about throughout the entire movie. So, but I guess we can just get right into it. But yeah, the Suicide Squad is pretty recent. It's been out for like 2 years, and the Suicide Squad it's been out for like 7 years. And I remember watching it in theaters. I enjoyed it, but nowadays it's just like no. So anyway, let's talk about the positives for Suicide Squad. Okay, so I'm gonna say this. I like the idea. The idea was great. Kind of like Guardians of the Galaxy, although Guardians of the Galaxy came out first, which I thought was the other way around at first, but no, it's actually the Guardians of the Galaxy. The first movie came out in like 2014, so it's 2 years older than the first Suicide Squad movie, but whatever. But you know, the ideas are similar. Like it's like Marvel is like, okay, let's have a team of misfits, you know, join forces for the greater good. And DC is like, let's do that too. Okay, and they did. I mean, again, great idea. The execution, though, well, we'll get to that later. So someone was only given 6 weeks to write the script for the movie. Oh, no wonder. I don't think 6 weeks is going to be enough to write a script for a fucking movie. It's not. Like, it is not. Like, no joke. Like, and see, I can see why that would be very hard because, see, I'm writing fan fiction and no joke, that shit takes a lot longer than you think. Like, it took me I'm writing a series of fan fictions, and they're all like within the same series, like just like they're all interconnected storylines. Um, it took me like 2 months. No, yeah, like 2 months. No, 4 months actually. 4 months to write the second story, and 3 months to write the first. So if it takes me that long to write a fucking fan fiction, I can't imagine like writing this. I know it's only a 2 hour movie, but goddamn, like writing a script like that, for, like 6 weeks, that's not enough time. Like that's just not going to be enough time. Like this, no, I don't think that's going to work. Please tell me you're not a Wattpad. No, don't worry. I don't use Wattpad or fanfiction.net. I used to use fanfiction.net, but then I was like, ew. So I just go on archive of our own.org, otherwise known as AO3.org. So I'd use that. I don't use Wattpad or fanfiction.net because I've heard bad things about them and I can see why. But anyway, but yeah, like writing takes a long time. So like 6 weeks, which is 1.5 months for a 2 hour movie. Even I couldn't do that. No, no, I can't do that. That's not going to be enough time. You'll need at least double or triple that amount. That's not going to work. This movie was not edited together by actual movie editors, but by people who edit movie trailers. That would explain why. Yeah, that's the thing. When you watch the movie, it feels kind of like a mess, but you can't quite explain why. Maple is probably going to be better at explaining this than me because it's like with me, like I know that the first one's a mess, but it's kind of hard for me to explain. It's just something you feel while watching the movie. But maybe Maple could put it like in better words than I could. When I had an acting gig, it took my friend about 3 months to write a 20-minute play. 3 months for 20 minutes, dude. Right? Exactly. That's like writing takes a lot of time. Yeah, that's the thing. Like writing a movie script, a 2-hour movie, like, and that's not even including like time spent on revisions and like printing and all that shit. No, no, like that, like writing movies takes a very long time. Yeah, it could even take up to a year to write a script for a movie, or maybe more. It depends. 3 months for a 20-minute play. Yeah, that's the thing. 3 months for 20 minutes. 12 months for 80 minutes. 24 months for 160 minutes. If we're going by that rule. Bam. But anyway, the idea was great. Now, granted, I'm not going to say it's never been done before because it obviously has, but I don't care. Who cares if it's been done before? As long as it's good and as long as it's good and it's original in the way it's implemented, then I don't care. So yeah, the idea is great. Another positive. Okay, so there are two characters I actually like in this film. One of them is Harley Quinn, and the other is Deadshot. To me, they were awesome characters. The others are just eh. But, Harley Quinn. Well, I liked Rick Flag as well, but, I'll get to him later. So, but anyway, Harley Quinn and Deadshot were pretty cool characters. Harley Quinn was funny, she was sassy, she was strong, she was clever. I mean, it's Harley Quinn. She's obviously going to be a good character, but yeah, like I don't remember what the actress name was, but she nailed it with Harley Quinn. I loved her in this movie. Deadshot was also cool. Now, of course, Will Smith is a great actor, so of course he was going to nail the role of Deadshot. So, yeah, Deadshot was a really cool character. Very, very strong, very smart, tough, no nonsense, never misses a shot. Kind of like, Michael in GTA 5. He gives me that kind of vibe, except he's manages to be a lot cooler. Anyway, but yeah, Deadshot was pretty cool. I liked him. He was an awesome mercenary. Um, and I also liked the scenes he had with his daughter. Those were pretty touching because he was an assassin, but he was still a father at heart, someone who cared for his daughter and who just did not like his wife. But, family drama and whatnot. Margot Robbie. Oh, that was the actress's name for Harley Quinn. Okay. She was fine in the animated series in the Arkham games, but she was too one note for me and didn't have much of a personality other than she was crazy for the Joker. But this was actually the first version of Harley Quinn that I actually really liked. Okay, cool. Yeah, Harley Quinn was really good in this one. Um, I liked Rick Flag as well. Rick Flag was a nice character. I liked him. I liked the relationship he had with. I forgot this archaeologist's name. I literally forgot her name, but she was possessed by the enchantress, who ends up being the big bad at some point in the movie. And and yeah, like, but anyway, like I did like Rick Flag, like where he's tough on all the misfits, but then actually kind of grows closer to them throughout the movie, which was nice. And I think he's even better in the second movie, but in the first one, he's actually a decent character. I liked him. His actor was kind of crap. To be fair, I mean, yeah, I agree with you. But to be fair, like he does get better in the second one, so there's that. But yeah, in the first one, the performance could have been a bit better. Yeah, like Rick Flagg's better in the second movie, if I'm gonna be honest. Yeah, Harley Quinn feels like an actual character here, not someone who's just simps for the Joker. So yeah. So yeah, Harley Quinn, Deadshot, and Rick Flag were cool characters. Everyone else I did not give a shit about, but we'll get to that later. Like, I'm sorry, like the other characters were either okay or boring. They were. I'm sorry. It's Harley and Deadshot carried the film. I'm just gonna say it right now. They carried the film. Everyone else is basic. Yeah, I know Killer Croc's here and here. I don't give a shit. I could not see the and this is why I feel that the second movie does a better job with the characters, but I'll get to that later. The first movie, only like a handful of the characters are like good. Everyone else is just basic. Just basic as fuck. I'm sorry, they're basic. Like so basic. Like I'm sorry, I keep jumping to the negatives, but this movie is kind of a mess. Maybe I should have just started with the negatives, but whatever. We'll get to the other characters later. But yeah, the Rick Flag was his actor was kind of crap, especially during the This Is Katana bit. I feel like maybe it was just kind of bad direction. Maybe kind of. I feel like part of it might have been just bad voice direction, but who knows? Just but yeah, like the actor, you could tell the actor himself, eh, his performance could have been better. Oh yeah, Amanda Waller, right? Yeah, Amanda Waller. Yeah, she was a good character. I liked her. I should add, I liked Amanda Waller too. She was a cool character. She was badass. She was very tough, very no nonsense. She was not afraid to put other people down to get what she wanted. She was willing to do whatever it took to achieve her objective. So she's basically a ruthless boss, but she's a badass. So really, she carried the film too. It's literally just Harley Quinn, Deadshot, Rick Flag, and Amanda Waller. Everyone else is just yeah. Oh yeah, and Batman makes a cameo too, which was nice, but not really all that important. Oh yeah, and Superman is referenced here. Apparently, at the beginning of the movie, it was shown that he was dead. So, mm, yeah. So now everyone's like, "Oh no, what do we do?" So that's how Amanda Waller came up with the idea of the Suicide Squad, where it's like, okay, well Superman's gone, let's just make our own superhero task force or some shit like that. So yeah, but anyway, I think they were called Task Force X, but whatever. Anyway, yeah. So those four characters were nice. Everyone else I couldn't give a shit about. Um, I mean, Katana was she's okay, I guess. Like I like her characters I like her character's abilities and shit, but like but like she's just kind of there. Anyway, and I'll talk about the rest later. But yeah, Batman literally sucker punches Harley Quinn and then makes out with her. Oh yeah. Like at the beginning of the movie, like, the Joker and Harley Quinn are in a car chase with Batman. They drive off like a bridge or road or some shit. Like they end up, the car ends up going into the water. The Joker's car, I mean. Batman jumps out of his Batmobile and and goes after them. The Joker is nowhere to be found. Well, Harley's there. She's apparently unconscious, but she wakes up when Batman like tries to swim up to her. He tries to swing at him with a knife. He knocks her the fuck out, and rightfully so. Then he brings her to the surface and then does CPR on her. And yeah, that's what happened. He does kiss her. And he didn't even want to. You could tell that he didn't want to kiss her. He was like, then he decided to do it anyway because he didn't want anyone to die. That's his thing. He doesn't let people die, even if they don't deserve to be saved. That's Batman's thing. It's always been his thing, for better or for worse. And that's not an understatement. Anyway, I mean, yeah, Captain Boomerang was okay. I just feel like I just feel like he could have been handled better. I don't know. To me, he's kind of just hit or miss. Sometimes hit, sometimes miss. But I'll get to him later. Um. Okay, so the music. I thought the music was nice. But yeah, characters were overall okay, I guess. The music was nice. I mean, oh, excuse me. There were a few tracks I liked, like "Without Me" by Eminem, which I forgot that song was even in that movie. Because it's also in Just Dance 2021 for those of you who remember my live stream of that game. So hearing that song there, I was like, oh yeah, that song was in this movie. I completely forgot, and it's a nice song. And I also like the song "Heathens" by 21 Pilots. So that one was nice. It plays there. It plays at the very beginning of the credits. Um, and it's a nice song. And if you remember, I once made a parody of it where and the parody went like this: all these girls are dumb hoes, talk real slow, don't wait for them to tell you who they blow, please don't be dragging anyone's weave, or else they'll be forcing you to leave. No, I'm kidding. But anyway, um let's see what else. But yeah, like, and there was this one other song. I'm trying to remember what it was, but I liked it. Fuck, I cannot remember what it was. But yeah, like the soundtrack overall was I thought it was nice. I thought it was all right overall. Though yeah, there were a few moments where it's like, why did they pick that song? Five different pop songs that play randomly. Yeah, that's true. They could have made the soundtrack a bit better, but overall, I thought it was decent. That was nice. Let's see what else. I like the humor, sort of. Like the humor. The humor was fine. It wasn't the greatest, but it was fine. Like there were more hits than misses. But I don't know. I remember the movie being funnier when I watched it for the first time in theaters. I don't know. Maybe the jokes just. Maybe I just outgrew some of these jokes. I don't know. But overall, I thought the humor was serviceable. Oh yeah, the bar scene. I actually did like that. I should include that. The bar scene. That was actually pretty cool. And we actually get a bit more backstory from, I think his name was called Diablo or El Diablo, the fire guy, the power kinetic. Um, but anyway, but like honestly, most of these characters I did not even know about. The only ones I knew about were obviously the Joker, Harley Quinn, and Batman. Everyone else I did not, and Superman. Everyone else and the Flash. The Flash actually makes a cameo here too. He was the one who captured Captain Boomerang, by the way. But anyway, like those five characters were the only ones I knew about. Everyone else, I was like, wait, who? I did not know about anyone else. I was like, who's Deadshot? I mean, he's a cool character, but who the fuck is he? But hey, he feels a lot more relevant than Black Adam, which I'll get to in a later rant stream. But anyway, Slipknot, the man that can climb anything, who would literally die like 2 minutes after he got introduced. Yeah, that's the thing. He was literally killed like right after he got introduced. And I was like, okay. I know that his death was meant to show the others what would happen if they ever betrayed Amanda Waller, but I feel like that death was lame, and it wasn't even a good throwaway death. Like it was just like, ugh, eh, no, it's just like kind of a waste of a character. But whatever. Deadshot was in Arkham City. Oh, I did not know that. But then again, he was probably one of the side missions because in Arkham City, I barely, if ever, touched any of the side missions. It was really just the main missions I touched. And then Harley Quinn had the cheesiest pun in the movie. Now that's a killer app, right? I'm like, Harley. I mean, it did make me chuckle a bit, but I was like, Harley, you really said that. But anyway, but yeah, there are plenty of humorous moments, and for the most part, they all worked. Some more than others. I think a lot of them came from Deadshot and Harley Quinn, and some of them from the other characters. But it was really Harley Quinn and Deadshot that I think had a lot of humorous lines, and Captain Boomerang. He was an okay character to me. I know you like him, Maple, but to me, he's just okay. He's okay. But yeah, the humor was serviceable. Now, what would be my favorite joke? Probably probably like one of the funniest movies, one of the funniest moments in the movie to me was when when Rick Flag goes like sits down with the others at the bar and then literally breaks his kill switch and then he's like, okay, you're all free to go. And then Captain Boomerang just literally walks right out. That was funny. And what else? Yeah, to me that was one of the funniest moments. So he was okay to me as well. Oh, okay. Okay, cool. Um, let's see. We talked about the story. I'll get to that later. Um, okay, so we talked about the characters, the music, the humor. The action sequences were nice. I mean, come on. Deadshot kicked ass. Harley Quinn kicked ass. Really, all the characters kicked ass. But I really liked Harley Quinn's scenes. Really, I already knew that she was a strong hand-to-hand combatant with crazy gymnastic skills, and she gets even better in the second movie. But like here, she just kicks ass. And Deadshot was that his accuracy was on point, literally. Like he never missed a shot, except once where he was ordered to shoot an escaping Harley Quinn, but he was like he missed on purpose, so he missed on purpose. But yeah, like that guy, he could literally turn. He was just the best marksman around, honestly. Um, let's see what else. El Diablo, like I liked. He didn't really have a lot of fight scenes, but I did like the ones he had. And to be honest, he's the most powerful character there. He could literally destroy so many of the enemies. But he just didn't. He just at the time he didn't want to because his gift was what caused him to lose his family because he accidentally burned them. Well, sort of. It was a crime of passion moment. He got angry at his wife, lost control, and literally burned his wife and kids alive. So yeah, like that guy, he was clearly the strongest and could literally torch anything and anyone. And he has a badass scene at the end, towards the end of the movie, where he fights like the Enchantress's brother. Who like the Enchantress was working with her brother to like take over the world and shit. And he had a really cool fight scene with the Enchantress's brother, El Diablo, I mean. So. Yeah, yeah, there were really plenty of cool action scenes. Um, Rick Flag was pretty cool too. Um, so so yeah, and the action scenes get there are a lot more action scenes in the second movie than the first. The first, I will say that the action scenes in the first movie are more realistic, but the ones in the second movie are a lot flashier, which I don't mind. Like, I don't care. It's a comic book universe. Who the fuck cares? But yeah, that's all I have to say on that. Um, let's see. Uh, Anything else? Hmm. You guys can see my bullet points, right? Yeah, you can. Okay, cool. Sorry, I'm trying to think of. I think that's all the positives I have. Yeah, that's those are all the positives. I can't think of any others. So let's just get to the negatives. Unless anyone has any more positives I missed, because I can't think of any. Okay, negatives. All right, so okay, so the bonding, the bonding between all the character, all the Suicide Squad members. It was, how do I put this? It was almost non-existent. I'm just gonna say it right now. It was almost non-existent. Oh wow, Maple actually has a. Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, Maple's going off in the chat, but I'll talk about that moment, and I'll talk about what he's saying in a moment. But yeah, the bonding between all the Suicide Squad members, it was almost non-existent, and this is what the second movie actually does a lot better job with. But the first one is just like no, it's like DC slapped all these guys together, and it's like, and throughout the movie, you expect me to believe that they actually feel like they're friends, but it's like no, because there's barely any bonding to begin with. Like, to me, the only actual bonding that takes place is between Harley Quinn and Deadshot. That's it. Like, to me, they actually, like, I feel like their relationship is the only one to actually buy. Everyone else is just like, so, just, sorry, but no. That's just how I feel. Like, mm, like, the relationships between all the characters could have been more developed because, I mean, I can see them being allies, but to call them friends, it's just like, no. Sorry. Sorry, just no. Like a discount Guardians of the Galaxy. Basic. Sorry. um, Anything else? Okay, so Maple says that he thinks that the Joker in this movie is the worst Joker ever, and that Leto, whatever, absolutely sucked as a Joker. He was cringe and embarrassing to watch. It was almost like they were trying to make the Joker sexy or something. Yeah, I really don't. I kind of don't like Joker's portrayal in this movie either. If I'm going to be honest, I kind of didn't like it. I mean, the Joker's always been an unsettling character, but the way they handle him in this movie, it's like they try to make him so suggestive and shit. I'm just like, why? Like why? Like it's just why? The Joker was actually supposed to be the main villain in this movie, but that got changed during reshoots. Oh, I can kind of believe that. I can believe that. Did I get bitten here? So yeah, I didn't really like the the Joker's portrayal here in this movie. It just felt weird and out of character. Like the Joker's always been, he's always been weird, but like they made him feel so suggestive here, and I'm just like, why? Like if they had toned that shit down a bit, it would have felt like more. It would have felt more like how the Joker would have acted. Now, see, I didn't mind this back then when I watched the movie in theaters because I had when I watched the movie in theaters I had hardly I knew about the Joker, of course, but I had hardly ever touched this character. But after playing the Arkham games, it's like this isn't really how the Joker feels. Like watching this movie a second time, I'm just like this. This kind of does not feel like the Joker. I don't know why this doesn't. So yeah, Hmm. That's one thing that I found weird. The editing in this movie is atrocious. To be honest, see, I'm trying to think of specific examples because I don't think you're wrong, but I honestly did not even notice that the editing was that bad. But then again, I don't know much about editing movies, so what the fuck do I know? But I have seen bad editing, like Mulan 2020. Ooh, that editing was really bad. But here, I actually didn't even notice that the editing was bad. Editors of movie trailers versus editors of actual movie. Yeah, the two are completely different. You can't expect someone to who spent time editing trailers to edit an actual movie. Like the circumstances and requirements are different. Mostly the first half when you go through all those flashback scenes. Okay, okay, yeah, I feel like I see your point now. Because the flashback scenes were they felt like they were sloppily put in the movie. I do agree with that. It's like it's just like they just felt like they were shoehorned in. I don't know how to explain it, but the flashback scenes weren't they didn't really gel well with the rest of the movie. It just felt kind of forced in. So yeah, like I do agree with you. Like some of the editing could have been better. I feel like random scenes were a trailer awkwardly put together. Yeah, I do agree with you on that. So yeah, the editing could have been better. Because yeah, I agree. Like the flashback scenes just felt weird. Like they just felt out of place. Like not in the sense, like not out of place in terms of story, but just out of place in terms of editing. Like they just felt like they were just shoehorned in and just slapped together. And I'm sure there are other examples, but the flashback scenes are the ones that stand out to me the most because it's like I get it. It's one of those movies where it's like you get a bunch of people to work together and you have to explain their backstories. This movie didn't do a good job because of the poor editing. So yeah. Here, wait. Let me read what Maples here said. The reason why they got the people to edit who edited the trailers to edit the movie was because the movie was supposed to be really bleak and dark, but the trailers were fun and lighthearted. Because of that, they felt that would be better if they got the movie trailer editors to do the movie in hopes that they could have that match the tone of the movie. I remember the very first teaser of this movie pitched this as being much darker, bleaker, and grim. But then every other trailer made it look fun and lighthearted and colorful the hell out of nowhere. So there's a disconnect in tone then. Ooh, because yeah, this movie does not feel very dark. It just doesn't. That's not the impression I got when I first watched the movie. So, oops. Hopefully they'll hopefully DC won't make that mistake again. Because I'm sorry, I just don't see this movie as very dark. Anyway, anything else? I feel like there was one other negative I wanted to mention. No, I think those are all of them. No, actually yes. The other characters. This might just be my opinion, but I found like I found several characters boring as fuck. Several characters. boring or just bad. So again, Killer Croc didn't care for him. Got the boomerang. He was okay, but like he had some good scenes, but he had some bad ones. To me, he's just hit or miss. Katana. I mean, cool abilities, but her actual character, I did not give a shit about. I couldn't care less that she killed her husband and that her husband's soul was now in her sword. Whatever. Um, what else? Who else? The fire guy. See, I wanted to like him, but the movie just kept refusing to use him. And I'm like, I really wish we had seen more of his abilities. I know there was a reason for it, but it's like I just wanted to see more of the character. It just feels weird like having that character come and then not having him do anything. Like really, I feel like he should have just been replaced with a different character. A lot of them felt pointless as well. Exactly, it's like not to mention that Diablo himself he literally could have just honestly he literally could have just done like all the work almost everyone else did. But no, we have to hold him back because he's just too fucking powerful. So it's like, yeah, okay. I wanted to like him, but he's just underused. So yeah. Anyone else I'm missing? Because really, the only ones I like are Rick Flag, Harley Quinn, um, Amanda Waller, and who else? And Deadshot. Everyone else is just really. I feel like it could have just been like if they had like made it like just instead of all these characters, like just three characters, like Harley Quinn, Deadshot, and maybe Captain Boomerang. Maybe just those three. Oh, I don't know. Maybe that would have been too small a cast. I feel like it's just like it's just like why have all these characters here if half of them don't do shit or barely do anything? So, and the Enchantress, I mean, her story's interesting, but her actual character I couldn't give a shit about. I couldn't give a shit about her brother either. See, I don't care about the villains. I don't care about some of these characters. So to me, the cast is kind of shitty in this movie. Sorry, not sorry. And then again, this is what the second movie does better, but we'll get to that later. I found the villain to be quite lame and poorly acted. There you go. See, there you go. Yeah, the Enchantress, she was just so stereotypical. She's like, I want to take over the world. Join me, my brothers and sisters. I'm like, bitch, calm down and take a seat. Shut the fuck up and go away. You are so irrelevant. The brother, I mean, he looked cool. He was strong as hell. Didn't do much. Sorry. Sorry. It's like, yeah, that's the thing. Like, half of the characters in this film just suck. They suck. Oh my god. How can you make a character like Killer Croc suck? Killer Croc was cool in the games, in the Arkham games, but in here he just sucks. He sucks ass. Like, I'm sorry, he just sucks. I mean, at least he got his BET entertainment at the end of the film, so there's that. For helping save the world, he got his BET entertainment, so kudos to him, I guess. Enchantress were bad. The Joker, Rick Flag, and the Enchantress were badly miscast. I agree with you. They were. I'm not going to disagree with you on that point because you are absolutely right, Maple. I remember there was a scene where the Enchantress was getting emotional. The girl sitting next to me turned to her boyfriend. She was like, "She sucks." Oof. But that's accurate. So, oops. I remember in the climax where she was moving her arms around and it came out across as unintentionally funny. Yeah, exactly. That's what I literally reenacted. She was literally like this. And I was like, girl, why are you flailing your arms about? You have muscle spasms or some shit? Calm down with the theatrics. Like literally she would have been more menacing if she had just stayed still. But no, we gotta make her I'm an evil entity. Oh, I'm a witch and shit. Fear me. I'm like, no, bitch. You look pathetic. Shut the fuck up. Anyway, right? And that's the thing. This feels like a discount Guardians of the Galaxy. Sorry, DC, but Marvel has you beat here. Sorry. Like, just oops. Yeah, a few of the music tracks are out of place. I will say that. I feel like the soundtrack's better in the second one. It's like it feels more cohesive in the second one. The first one, it's decent, but just like there are a few tracks that are just like no. So yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but the Enchantress, and see, the thing about the Enchantress was that she felt so irrelevant to me. I'm sorry, she felt so irrelevant to me. I cared. I did not give a shit about her. I even forgot that she was supposed to be the villain of the movie. It's like, oh, she's a threat now. I don't care. I did not give a shit. I'm sorry, but it's like I cared more about the Suicide Squad itself than the actual villain, and it's not really a good thing when you care more about the protagonist than the villain, because the villain was supposed to be important too. But it's like, but she wasn't. Not to me. Sorry. I don't remember a single joke that stood out for me. Yeah, that's fair. Like that's the thing. Like I remember. What did I say earlier? The humor was fine. Yeah, like I think it's decent, but like again, there were some misses because again, I remember the movie being funnier. Like I said earlier, I remember watching the movie for the first time and it being funnier, but now I'm just like some of these jokes just did not land for me. Which is weird because I remember not laughing at some of these jokes. Some of them I laughed at, but some of them no. And even the ones I laughed at, I was like just laughing internally, where it's just like it's funny, but you don't actually laugh out loud. Or if it's really funny, you laugh out loud or at least chuckle. To me, like a lot of these jokes, some of them made me laugh internally. Some of them were just like, so yeah. The humor, I guess it just got stale for me. But yeah, yeah, the scene where Harley goes like pussy, that was funny. Where she called Deadshot pussy. And Deadshot was like, I will knock you out. I don't care if you're a girl, I will knock you out. And then she says it again when when Deadshot and Rick Flag go to stop the Enchantress and the others are still in the bar wondering if they should go. And then Harley's like, come on, guys, we have nothing better to do. Pussies. That was funny. So yeah. So yeah. I guess the humor got a bit stale, but yeah, I think those are all the negatives I can think of. Um, are there any others? I think we've covered just about. I think we covered just about all of them. Another negative is that this movie's premise doesn't really make sense when you think about it. Oh, this I have to see. This I have to see because I didn't even think of that, but I want to hear what Maple's thoughts are. So let Maple finish typing up his thoughts. Okay, so yeah, that's the thing. The Suicide Squad, they were meant to, well, according to Amanda Waller anyway, they were meant to replace Superman. And I even said this earlier. They were meant to replace Superman, but the the thing is that half of them are don't half of them literally do not even have superpowers. So like they all that Superman would whoop all of them easily. So it's like how can all of them combined be the next Superman when they're not even close to being half his strength or even a quarter of his strength power? Like Harley Quinn doesn't have any superpowers, neither does Deadshot or Katana. Well, to be fair, Katana was like, she technically wasn't one of the Suicide Squad members forced to work with, like, the one, how like the Suicide Squad members all had like this explosive device in their bodies that Amanda Waller put uh in them. Well, Katana didn't. I don't think Katana was one of those people. So, but still, it's just like half of these guys don't even have powers. So it's like, okay, and they're all supposed to just represent a force rivaling that of Superman. Okay, the Suicide Squad was pretty much um being brought in to clean up the mess that Amanda Waller caused. Pretty much. And they even I think the members themselves are aware of this. And even the Enchantress, I think the Enchantress pointed out to them at one point where she was like, "Why are you serving her? We need to be serving me instead. I could actually give you what you want." So, yeah, you're not wrong. And I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to remember something about the film. Okay, yeah. So the Suicide Squad members were recruited before, Amanda Waller lost control of the Enchantress, but then the Enchantress became an actual global threat. So then she was like, "Okay, I'm gonna just send these guys to go and take care of this bitch." Yeah, that's exactly. The movie is basically about bringing in a bunch of fuck ups to deal with other people's fuck ups. So fuck ups clean up other people's fuck ups. Mm, yeah, it's just weird. It is weird now that I think about it. You actually do have a point. So it's like I could type in the Suicide Squad members were supposed to replace Superman, but how? And it's not like and another thing that I've noticed is that it's not like Amanda Waller even needed these guys. If I'm going to be honest, because like you still had plenty of heroes in DC. You had Batman, he showed up, Flash. So it's like if you have those two, then why even bother with the Suicide Squad? It's just like you already have plenty of heroes. Why do you need these guys? I don't know. It just feels like the Suicide Squad didn't actually need to be a thing. It's like it's like why even recruit these guys when you have plenty of heroes already. Superman wasn't the only hero. I just I don't know. It's just like it's just like why? It feels like the writers wanted to just slap in a bunch of misfits together. It's like, oh, Guardians of the Galaxy did it. Let's do it too, except worse. Okay, okay, yeah, exactly. Great ideas, bad execution. I'll just go ahead and type that as the final final bullet point. Great ideas, bad execution. Because like with Guardians of the Galaxy, at least it felt like there was more of a purpose to having all those misfits come together. But here, it felt like they were the Suicide Squad members were put together because, just because, just because. Okay, so yeah, sorry. How many bullet points do I have for the negatives? Let's see. That's 7 versus 7. Okay, so it's an even split. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I'm sure Harley Quinn was a lot more popular after this movie because again, she carried the film on her back. Her back must be hurting after carrying the film. Just about every girl and woman dressed up as Harley Quinn for Halloween that year, and the comics involving Harley Quinn had a huge boost in sales. So the Suicide Squad movie actually did do well. The first one did do a great job of you know making Harley Quinn's character popular, as well as fleshing out her character. So yeah, there's that. Yeah. Harley Quinn is actually a person from DC. I think even the person from DC said that Harley Quinn is now as popular of a character as the Holy Trinity of Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. Damn, I can believe that actually, because Harley Quinn wasn't really all that important back then. But after this movie, yeah, yeah, like that bitch went up in popularity. And I think the Arkham games helped a bit, not as much as the Suicide Squad movie did, the first one. I think the Arkham games helped a bit, as well as a few of the probably as well as a few of the animated series. Probably, I'm just guessing, but yeah, like I think this first movie was had the biggest helped out helped out um the most. But anyway, but yeah, oh yeah, and yeah, I forgot there's a series with Harley Quinn and I Poison Ivy. They're a couple and they run a criminal enterprise together. And thanks to the first Suicide Squad movie, well, people are really into this series with Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy. So yeah, yeah, I figured. Yeah, the animated series and the Arkham games, Harley Quinn was pretty well known in those. So but yeah, that's all I have for the first movie too. So let's go on to the next one, which at first I disliked more than the first, but now to be honest, I still kind of. I mean, I still have a bit of a dislike for it, but I do like it more than I did before. The Harley Quinn HBO Max series. Oh, okay, okay, cool. Where Harley Quinn's in an actual relationship, in a relationship with someone who actually gives a damn about her. I mean, not to say that the Joker doesn't care about Harley Quinn at all, but he's known for mistreating her constantly. So it's nice that Harley Quinn's with somebody who doesn't do that shit. It shows like Velma, but not complete shit. That's fair. Like looking at some of the screenshots, I did get a bit of a Velma vibe from this series, but from what I've heard, it's not bad. So there's that. But Velma, oh my god, Velma? What even is that? That's not Scooby Doo. That's just that's just a social justice warrior's power fantasy. That's basically what Velma is. A social justice warrior's power fantasy. At least the Harley Quinn show, it's actually funny, creative, has an identity, and is actually respectful towards the character and source material. Whereas Velma is none of that. It's not Scooby Doo. I refuse to call it Scooby Doo. It's literally just a social justice warrior's power fantasy with Scooby Doo slapped onto it. And not even, and barely at that, because, well, Fred's a misogynistic, sexist. I don't know about misogynistic, but he's at the very least a sexist idiot. And the sexist rich idiot. I mean, at least it's like that's how he's portrayed throughout the whole thing. And Daphne is, vapid and shallow and superficial. I mean, granted, she has always been a bit materialistic, but not to that extent. And and Shaggy, okay, fucking hell. You already know how I feel about race swapping, so I'm just gonna say it. Why the race swap? Like, just why? But I digress. Basically, Velma is shit. Anyway, let's go on to the second movie. Also, there was actually a spin-off with Harley Quinn right before this movie called Birds of Prey. You didn't need to watch to understand this movie, though. The only thing you need to know was that Harley Quinn and the Joker broke up. I could tell because I was like, "Where's the Joker in this film?" I could tell that Harley Quinn wasn't with the Joker anymore, but I never knew why. But now I know because you just told me. People were split down the middle of that movie, but I actually really enjoyed it. It was a really fun action movie for me. Then again, for from what I understand, it's not very faithful to the Birds of Prey comics, though. Mostly because Harley herself never led the Birds of Prey. That was Batgirl and Oracle. So they changed the source material. That's not necessarily a bad thing, but like, was there a reason for it? If there was a good reason for it, fine. But if there wasn't, then why even do it? But anyway, that's an interesting bit of trivia. So the Suicide Squad. So they decided this is technically not a reboot of the first film. At least I don't think it is, but it kind of felt like it because this movie actually this movie actually does several things better than the first one did. So let's just get into it. Let's see. Hold on. Maple said something here. If anything, the girl gang group that Harley Quinn was a part of in the comics was the Gotham City Sirens, where she teamed up with Catwoman and Poison Ivy, which part of me wonders why they just didn't do that movie, but whatever. Yeah, why didn't they just do that? It would have been nice to have a movie with Harley Quinn, Catwoman, and Poison Ivy all working together, but that didn't happen. So, okay. Anyway, but yeah, the Suicide Squad. So again, I don't know why they didn't pick a different name, but what the fuck ever. I guess they wanted to. I guess the writers were like, okay, no, okay, let's kind of forget the first movie. The Suicide Squad. This is the movie for the Suicide Squad. The movie, and I'm like, okay, cool. But it actually ended up being better, so I guess I can kind of understand the reasoning behind the name now that I think about it. But okay, so positives, and I'm not even gonna bother covering the plots of these movies because they're kind of hard to describe. But basically, in the first movie, there was an evil enchantress that wanted to take over the world, and a bunch of fuck ups were recruited to stop her. In the second movie, there was a mad science. There's a mad scientist working on some fucked up experiment in some Spanish speaking country, and it gets it breaks free of its prison, and now the Suicide Squad members have to stop it, and that's really the gist of it. Anyway, oh yeah, James Gunn did direct this movie. The director of the Guardians of the Galaxy trilogy. Yeah, it shows because this movie's actually better than the first one. So yeah, yeah, this movie did feel like a soft reboot. That's the thing. Yeah, exactly. Even the title implies as much. The Suicide Squad, not just the Suicide Squad, but the Suicide Squad. So positives. Okay, so the characters are actually better this time. They were actually better. All of them. I actually liked all the characters, not just three of them like in the first movie. So I liked Ratcatcher 2. I liked Nanare the Shark. I liked Peacemaker. I liked what was the black guy's name? I legit forgot. Shit, I literally forgot his name. I forgot his name. Oh my god, that's embarrassing. I literally forgot his name. He's the leader of the squad, and I literally forgot his name. Oh my god. Um, fuck. What was his name? Shit. Let me go look this shit up. Really forgot. Okay. Um, Bloodsport. There we go. Bloodsport. No, 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 not Deadshot. Bloodsport. I'm talking about Bloodsport. Sorry. Bloodsport. Oh my god. Are Deadshot and Bloodsport the same? I don't know. But yeah, Idris Elba. Am I saying his name correctly? Idris Elba. Yeah, he plays his he plays his he plays his Bloodsport in this movie. And yeah, you know him as the voice of Knuckles from Sonic, the second Sonic live action movie. So yeah, I liked him. I liked the polka dot guy. I liked. Let's see who else. Rick Flag was better here. Yeah, he felt a lot better here than in the first movie, where he was okay, but in this movie he's actually a better character, and he even has a friendship going on with Harley Quinn, which I liked. So yeah, I don't think there was a single character that I disliked. Like even the prince, what the governor, whatever that guy's name was, the president. That was his. I think that was his title. Who wanted to marry Harley Quinn? I actually liked his character too. Before Harley Quinn murdered him in cold blood because she's a batshit insane character. Um, I liked him. I liked the Thinker. Really, again, there's not a single character here that I hate. Like some characters were like I find um the characters at the very least decent. Like they range from decent to great. So compared to the hot mess that was the first cast, the characters here were actually not terrible. So yay. I liked all of them. My favorites would probably be mm, let me think. Rick Flag, Ratcatcher 2, Nanawe, and I guess Bloodsport and Peacemaker. Really, like just basically all of them. I mean, Amanda Waller was great. She's great in this movie too. She's pretty cool. And and I even liked some of her employees. One's name was John. I forgot. The others' names I don't know, but the big guy's name was John. I liked him. Um and the other employees, one of which actually knocked Amanda Waller out just so she wouldn't kill the Suicide Squad members for going off mission, which I thought was badass. So really, like really pretty much every character was cool. Harley Quinn, of course, Harley Quinn. She was already great in the first movie, and here she got a major upgrade in badass. She's just firing all these guns and weapons and shit, kicking ass with her javelin. I forgot the guy's name. There was this guy who owned the javelin at first. I forgot what his name was, but yeah, he was cool. And even the other Suicide Squad members that were at the beginning of the film, before they all got killed off. I mean, we didn't get to see much of them, so I can't say I don't have too much of an opinion on them. But from what I saw, like they were all right. They were nice. So the Weasel character, he was okay. Like really, there wasn't much focus on him. So, but he wasn't. I don't think he was bad. He was just okay. But yeah, like really, the characters overall were cool. Yeah, the scene where Harley Quinn escaped was so badass, and she was just so casual about it too. Like after she had killed all those men, she literally walked outside and just tried to call a taxi. I was like bitch, don't act like you didn't just kill all those men back there. But nah, that's Harley Quinn. It's not the first time she's done it, and certainly won't be the last. Like that was just so cool. He was just killing men left and right. Although to be fair, they were all wearing armor, so they shouldn't have gone down that easily. But at least in some of the scenes, in the other scenes, it made sense for them to go down pretty easily because she was using fucking knives and her javelin and shit, and it was like she's just kicking so much ass. Like she's definitely a lot. stronger here than she was in the Arkham games. In the Arkham games, she was really more of a nuisance, which was the point of her character. But here, she really gets to shine as a character that can literally kill you. So that random Mario Kart reference from Harley, I love that too. That was funny. If there's one thing that James Gunn always loves to do in this movie, it's that every single character gets their own darker moment to shine. Agreed. And I should also point out that the freedom fighters in the Spanish speaking country, whose name I forgot. Sorry, they're cool too. Too bad, like uh, Bloodsport and Peacemaker, being the dumbasses that they were, decided to go and kill all of them. Uh, Although to be fair to them, no, I'm sorry, that's a little unfair because like Amanda Waller was the one who told them that those soldiers were dangerous when they actually weren't. So it's really Amanda Waller's fault, at least to some degree. But yeah, they probably should. But yeah, those two could have at least like examined the situation a bit more before jumping in. But oh well. Anyway, but yeah, really every character was cool. Like they range from okay to great. No, I can't name a single bad character here. Yeah, like Harley Quinn, like she's not only badass, but she's also quite attractive. Because again, even the fucking president of that Spanish speaking country wanted her. Too bad she killed him. Anyway, yeah, this movie has a very hard R rating, and that's mainly due to the gore. There's a lot of gore in this movie. I will warn you all now. There is a shit ton of gore in this movie. Imagine this like a few times, and I mentioned this in my last live stream, the one I did yesterday, and in the live stream before that. But yeah, this movie has a shit ton of gore, a lot. Like you'll see people getting their heads cut off, or being sliced open, or having their faces blown off, or their heads blown off, or exploding. Yeah, that's a shit ton of gore here. Not to mention all the fucking little starfish from that big ass starfish monster sucking on people's faces and feeding on them. There's a shit ton of gore. And the Thinker himself basically being thrown into a fucking glass wall by the starfish experiment. I forgot what its name was, and then just basically being smashed to bits. Yeah, there's a shit ton of gore in this movie. And what I also find interesting is that there are quite a number of female soldiers in this movie, female characters in general that get killed off. It's not even just male ones. You will see female characters getting literally chopped, like just chopped or blown or shot or blown to bits or shit like that, which surprised me because it's normally this shit happens to men, so like seeing it, you don't really see that happening to women a lot. So I found that really interesting. This movie, I don't have a problem with it. It's just something I found interesting. But yeah, a lot of gore in this movie. Yeah, James Gunn, like he literally went ape shit with the gore, and I was like, okay. And to be honest, I'm not really a fan of it. I'm not gonna slam the movie for it, but I just did not like the gore. I'm not against gore in general, but this movie had so much of it that I was just like, oh, okay, okay. So yeah, the R rating is pretty justified. Oh yeah, I know. There are plenty of male characters that get killed off too. I was just pointing out that there are quite a number of female characters that got killed off as well. I was like, oh, okay. So I found that interesting. Again, not complaining. I really don't care if it's a man or a woman getting owned or killed. Just that it's just like I just found it weird. I just found it really interesting and a bit weird that it's like, oh, okay, now it's just weird to see. It's just a bit weird because I'm not used to it. Like it's just a bit weird to see that shit, but I don't care. Like I don't have a problem with it basically. So I'm not complaining about it, just something I noticed. Anyway, um Any other positives? Well, hmm. Oh yeah, Rick Flag actually has more synergy with, and that actually gets into my next point. The Suicide Squad. Here, let me explain this. The Suicide Squad actually feel like a squad. They actually felt like a squad this time. Oops. They actually felt like a squad. I actually felt that these guys were actual friends compared to the first movie where they were just really just stuck together. The movie wanted me to think they were friends, and I didn't buy it. But here, I actually believed it because there was actually more synergy between all the characters, and the characters were also fleshed out a bit more. So like there was more time spent developing those relationships in this movie compared to the first one, where there was barely any effort put into that. So the Suicide Squad actually felt like an actual squad. So there was that. The relationship between Harley Quinn and Rick Flag is a good example of this, as well as the relationship between Ratcatcher 2 and Nanawe, and even the little back and forth rivalry between Bloodsport and Peacemaker, and like the Peacemaker, like that I enjoyed too. Like the characters actually bounce off one another pretty well here compared to the first one where they're all just kind of stuck together. So, oops. So yeah, I will say that the Suicide Squad here are an actual squad, almost on the level of the Guardians of the Galaxy group. If I'm going to be honest, almost on the level, almost on that level, which makes sense because James Gunn directed both movies. So yeah, I guess that's why the movie is called The Suicide Squad, right? It really does feel like a soft reboot where it's like this movie is apologizing for the first one, and it's like, okay, let's do it right this time. We are the Suicide Squad, the Suicide Squad. That moment where Harley Quinn found out that Rick Flag and Deadshot were trying to save her were quite wholesome. Was quite wholesome. I agree. I agree. That was actually pretty nice. And she even gave Rick Flag a hug. I was like, oh, that's so cute. Oh, like I did like that, where they're all ready to save her, and then she's like, "What are you guys doing?" And then Red Flag was like, "We were trying to save you, and we had a cool plan, and all." And Harley Quinn was like, "Oh, well, I could go back in, and you guys could do it." And then Bloodsport was like, "That's patronizing." But yeah, it was funny and it was heartwarming. So yeah, like again, these feel like actual friends, or at the very least, good allies. So it's like, wow, these people actually feel like friends this time. Okay, cool. Here, I'll be right back. I need to change it to some shorts because I'm getting a bit sweaty. Okay, I am back. I guess because Harley was too used to men always using or betraying her, that was refreshing to see some men actually want to aid her for once. Yeah, exactly. Harley Quinn actually found men that gave a damn about her. And she even kind of I feel like she even pointed this out when just after she had shot the president of I forgot the country's name, but she shot him, and then she basically opened up to him about the men in her life being treating her like crap because apparently she had bad taste in men, which was funny because like the dude was dying, and she and his facial expression was like, "Are you really telling me all this while I'm dying after you just shot me?" And then he just dies. And it's like, well, dude, you don't know Harley Quinn. She's just that insane. She's just that insane. But anyway, but yeah, let's see. This time they really are some kind of Suicide Squad. Exactly. And what I also love, that's the thing. Another thing I want to point out, I also love that, see, in this movie, the Suicide Squad, well, they feel more like heroes than in the first movie because in this movie, they literally could have just looked the other way and let the monster terrorize the town. But they, of their own volition, chose to actually save the people, to save the people in the city. Even when Amanda Waller was literally screaming at them not to. Because she was like, it's not our problem. Let them deal with it. Besides, they're enemies anyway. But the Suicide Squad were like, nah, fuck that. We're going to save these people. And they did. One of them ended up dying, unfortunately. But I was like, these guys are actual heroes now. I'm like, okay. I was like, okay, that's actually nice. They're actually doing this because they want to save other people, even though they're not the greatest people. And then Harley was like, I can't believe there was actually a bullet in this thing. Right? Like, how did a gun like that? Fucking revolver that looked that like old and shit, like or antique or whatever, and it had a bullet? Like, why? Who the fuck put a bullet in there? Where'd she even get it from? I have to wonder. Or actually, to be fair, there were already guns in the room, so although I'm surprised I'm surprised that the one that Harley found had ammo in it. Like that was just careless on the prince's part. But president, sorry, but whatever. Yeah, Harley has always been a victim of domestic abuse and manipulation, which is why people like that she's with Poison Ivy now, because Poison Ivy doesn't do that shit to her. Okay, so anyway, let me point that out. And and they feel more like heroes than in the first film. Because like in the first film, it kind of felt like they were just helping Rick Flag out because they had nothing better to do, as Harley Quinn herself even said. But but here it's like, oh wow, they're actually trying to help people. Okay, cool. But anyway, anything else I can think of? Really, there are multiple positives. Maple pointed out a few. Let me read these. Let's see. The direction, filmmaking, style, soundtrack, they're better. Yeah, I will say that. So, um, yeah. So, like, point out the soundtrack. Soundtrack was definitely better. Like, there are fewer tracks that did not fit. Like, I can't think of a single track that didn't fit. I actually liked all the tracks. Like in the first movie, the soundtrack was mostly fine, but there are a few misses. But here, there really aren't any that I can think of. So that was cool. And yeah, the overall direction of this movie does feel better. So I would say that which clearly ties to my point that the story is definitely better. I mean, I like the idea of the first story, but it didn't really make much sense, and it was kind of sloppy. Like here, the story, the story was better, and it made more sense. Like some madman wanting to make some mad scientist experimenting on some alien life form, and then a country that has beef with the United States wants to use um, that monster for world domination. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. That's a pretty fun idea. So compared to the first story where it's just like, okay, let's have a group of misfits join together to defeat some evil enchantress because why the fuck not? Yeah, John Cena's performance was actually good here. Yeah, I would say this, the acting was definitely better than the first movie. Oops, I said game. Movie. It was definitely better than the first movie. So, like, really, I thought pretty much everyone's performance was good. Particularly Bloodsport's performance and the Peacemaker's performance. So, like, I just Idris Elba and John Cena. Their performances were good. He was fine in Bumblebee as well, but here he really comes to his own as Peacemaker. Oh, cool. I never watched Bumblebee. I know about the movie, I've just never watched it. But yeah, but yeah, like really, really, all the characters were really all the actors were good. The actor for Harley Quinn was good. The actor for Rick Flag was great, better than in the first movie. Um, the actress for Ratcatcher 2 was good. Yeah, I liked her performance particularly because she was a pretty tragic character. The actor for the Nolwe was pretty cool. Really all the actors did a good job. So yeah. So let's see, music, story, soundtrack, characters. Anything else I'm missing? Oh, the humor and action scenes, right? Okay, so yeah, Sylvester Stallone played the shark guy, Nanoe. He did a good job. So yeah. Anyway, uh, let's see. The action scenes, like they're great. They were great. I like them. Granted, I wasn't a fan of the gore, but the actual action in the scenes were pretty cool. Like like there was a cool sequence at the beginning of the film, some cool sequences in the middle, some cool sequences at the end. I liked all the scenes, especially the one where again, Harley Quinn's escaping from her confinement, from her prison, and she's just kicking so much ass, and all while just being casual about it. So yeah, she's pretty cool. Uh, really all the really all the characters got their moments to shine. Ratcatcher too had some cool moments. Those rats are no joke. They even took down a fucking starfish monster with the help of Harley Quinn. And it's like, goddamn. Bloodsport, obviously, he was going to be awesome. Same with Peacemaker. Rick Flag had some cool fighting scenes. Nanawe had some awesome moments. Really, all the characters got a chance to shine in these action scenes because, as Maple said, when you have it, when you have it, when you have James Gunn as a director for your movie, all your characters are going to get to shine. That's just how it's going to happen. Definitely better than yeah. The action scenes are better here than the first one. There are more of them, and they're actually better. So yeah, there's that. Starro, yeah, that was his name. I forgot his name. The starfish monster. So like Patrick's ancestor. No, I'm kidding. Gross. I don't want to do that to Patrick Star. But yeah, great action scenes all around. Um, let's see. Oh yeah, the polka dot guy had some cool moments too. You would think a guy like with a power like that wouldn't be able to do much, but no, he could literally vaporize you with his polka dots. Yeah, exactly. Like this movie is just so ridiculous. Well, you're talking about like the starfish monster, but to me, like it's not just the Starfish monster. The entire movie was ridiculous, and yet it still felt awesome. Like it was ridiculous, but the kind of awesome, but the awesome kind of ridiculous. You know, not like the stupid kind, but the awesome kind of ridiculous. Because this movie, it has a lot of what the fuck moments, but never to the point where it becomes annoying. Where where it becomes annoying. So there's that, and of course the humor was great. I liked it. Let me say good, because like it was better than the first one, but I wouldn't say like it was amazing. Like it was good. Like definitely funnier than the first one. This movie is funnier than the first one. I will admit that. So there were more moments that got it. There were more fun. There were funnier moments. There were more funny moments, and some of these actually even got a chuckle out of me. So and the movie was just as funny as I remembered it. Unlike the first one where it's like, I remember it being a lot funnier. I didn't have that problem with this movie. So yeah. I actually did enjoy the humor this time around. Um it's like there's just so many funny moments. Like plenty of funny moments. Like the scene where Nanawe's about to eat the rat catcher, and that was funny. Um and again you have the scene with Harley Quinn kicking ass, all that ass in her prison, and then like literally just calling a taxi, like just as if nothing ever happened, as if nothing had happened. That was funny. And of course, there was this one conversation where the polka dot guy, Harley, and Bloodsport were all having a conversation, an argument about about like Milton. You know, this one guy who was like who drove them to this area. Well, like he was a contact of the leader of this freedom fighters group. I forgot what her name was, but like he had just been killed, and the polka dot guy was sad, but then Harley Quinn and Bloodsport were like, wait, who's Milton? That was funny. Um, yeah, it did feel a bit. The humor did feel a bit edgy at times, but honestly, I like to me it's more hit than miss as well. Did all the jokes land? No, but plenty of them did, and it's good enough for me. James Gunn himself tends to have a very dark sense of humor, so it fits. Right? Exactly. Like just watch the beginning of the film, where quite a number of the Suicide Squad members die, and it's played for comedy. So like yeah, I can see James Humor having a dark sense of humor. I'm kind of like that too, but yeah. So yeah, I can see that. But yeah, it fits. I mean, I didn't like that those characters died so early in the film, but that's just how James Gunn's humor works apparently. Anyway, but yeah, the humor was good overall. I can't think of anything. Can't think of any other positives. I could say that the direction was better, but really, I feel like that's already implied with this list. So yeah, I think those are all the positives. Any negatives? Um, well, I said that I didn't like the gore, but I don't want to list that because that's pretty subjective. Not that I've never listed anything subjective on these, like in these presentations, but I don't want to list that here because I just don't feel it would be fair. But I'm having a hard time thinking of any negatives, if I'm going to be honest. I'm not saying that there aren't any, it's just that I have a hard time thinking of them. I don't know. There is one I could think of, but I'm not sure if I should list it. There are some minor things, like what will kill me. Oh shit, hold up. Okay, there we go. Okay, yeah, actually, I agree with you on that point. Wait, let me read that again. Hold up. Okay, yeah, that I agree with you on that. That is one thing. I can't believe I forgot to mention that. But can't believe I was I was thinking that the same thing throughout the entire movie, where it just does feel a bit overstuffed. To me, the movie felt a bit too long. Like there are moments where I was like, can we speed up the pacing? Because I feel like a bit of I feel like the movie could have been trimmed down a bit. It did not need to be as long as it was. It kind of had a similar problem with Wakanda Forever and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, where there was just a bit too much in the middle of the movie. It's like that. Like the movie just feels a bit overstuffed. So I do agree that the movie did feel a bit overstuffed and unfocused too. Yeah, the movie does feel like it's meandering a bit. It did feel that way, if I'm going to be honest. So yeah, I agree with you on that point. And another thing, yeah, that's the thing. I was thinking that too when watching the movie. Um, where it's like, okay, how exactly are these guys gonna stop a fucking starfish monster, a giant starfish monster? Like, how are they gonna do that? And yeah, that's the thing. Like, no one other than the Suicide Squad can take down a giant fucking starfish monster, whereas the Justice League could easily do it. That's the thing. Where are the Justice League? Like, why isn't Amanda Waller calling them up for help? Like, the Flash, the Green Lantern, Aquaman. Aquaman actually would have been useful here, if I'm going to be honest. Um, fucking maybe Batman. Just like you, like, come on, Wonder Woman. I don't even know where Wonder Woman is at this point in time. But why not just call the Justice League to do it? like the Justice League could have easily taken out that monster. But I mean, at least the Suicide Squad did it. It didn't make much sense, but at least they did it. Then again, that is a sin with most James Gunn movies. He always wants to include everything he possibly can and give every single character their own standout moment. I mean, yeah, that I can see how that would be a potential negative because it could lead to movies that are potentially bloated or nonsensical. But at the same time, that does tend to flesh out characters and give them moments to shine. So it's a double edged sword, really. So yeah, the climax felt, how do I put this? Uh, how do I put this? Like, how do I put this? I'm trying to think of how to put this. How about this? Okay, I couldn't suspend my disbelief when I watched the climax because it was ridiculous even for DC standards or Suicide Squad standards. Because really, it's like the justice there's no one other than the Suicide Squad can take down this monster when the Justice League could easily do it. So it's like the climax was a little bit ridiculous, not in the good kind of way, I would say. So, oops. But it's okay. I mean, at least the Suicide Squad got to kick ass. So it's a minor flaw for me. Okay, so let's see. Maybe this is a personal gripe for me, but I do wish James Gunn were more selective with his cast and not just always cast his friends and family and everything because it's becoming more noticeable. Yeah, that's really not a good habit in the film industry. It really isn't. Because, like, there are several things that can go wrong with that. Like, casting your family and friends, first of all, you could potentially hire bad talent. And second of all, that could be seen as favoritism. Even if it's not necessary, even if the person doesn't intend to play favorites, they could come off that way. So, yeah, that I can see that being a problem. Or actors he always works with. I mean, I can understand like hiring some people like that, but hiring a lot of them is just no. And then everything, just be a bit more selective, fam. So yeah, but I mean, he's a good director, so there's that. Just be a bit more selective with who you cast, Mr. Gunn. Normally, I can, but yeah, going back to the second point here. Normally, I can suspend my disbelief when it comes to superhero movies, but this was one where I was like, okay, so they took down a giant starfish monster, but they're mostly normal people. Hmm. Okay. And the way they took down the starfish monster was kind of dumb, if I'm going to be honest. Because the thing is that literally all they had to do, literally the rat catcher lady summons all the rats to attack the starfish monster, and then Harley Quinn jumps towards the starfish monster, stabs its eye to like enter it, so that the rats could come in and literally eat it from the inside out. And I'm like, you guys could have done that from the very beginning. You didn't need to do all this extra shit. I mean, to be fair, like you could argue that they were trying to think of a plan on the fly, but it's like, well, like when you could easily destroy somebody like that, it's like, why take so long to get to the point? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, okay, like so it's so the monsters defeated that easily. Hmm. Okay. Like, I'm just like, yeah, the climax could have been better, but I mean, at least everyone got their moment to shine, so there's that. Yeah, I feel like this is actually where I feel like the first movie did this better. I feel like the first movie had a better climax. If I'm gonna be honest, I feel that the first movie had a better climax. Um, at least in the sense of, making everyone feel important. Whereas with this one, it's really only two people that do anything. Do anything effective, I should say. Whereas like with the first one, everyone was actually doing something. Whereas here, well, I mean, everyone's doing something, but it feels like, really all that was needed was like two characters. I don't know. That's just me. I guess. I don't know. I just felt like the climax was, at least in that aspect, the climax was better in the first film. Maybe not overall better, but in some aspects, I think the first film did climax better. Yeah, even for a movie as over the top as this is, the climax does feel like a step too far. It's kind of like how out of nowhere the Joker Titan fight felt at the end of Arkham Asylum. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that fight did feel out of place. If I'm going to be honest, it did feel out of place. I'm not going to disagree with you there. You still prefer this climax over the first one. That's fair. I mean, to be honest, I like the first one more, but you know, that's fine. I feel like there are pros and cons with both, but yeah, like, but at least in both climaxes, Harley Quinn actually does the one thing that lets everybody take out the enemy. Whereas you know how in the first movie, like Harley Quinn tended to want to serve the Enchantress, but she used a sword nearby to cut the Enchantress's heart out so that the others could literally destroy it. That was cool. And this movie again, she stabs the fucking starfish monster's eye so that the rats could swarm in and eat it from the inside out. Again, that was cool. So at least both movies have that in the climax, where Harley Quinn does the one thing that lets everybody else defeat the enemy. So Harley Quinn is just that fucking badass. Yeah, that's the thing. The climax does feel like it does fall apart when you think about it. It's like I like it just felt I think I even felt like this the first time I watched it. I was like, they could have come up with a better starfish monster fight. I'm sorry. They could have. But it was still fun to watch. I think those are all the only negatives I have though. How long are the let me look at the run times of these movies. Hold up. So let me look at the runtime. So let me look at the runtime of the 2021 film. 132 minutes. So that's 2 hours 12 minutes. Okay, so let me do let me do oops. Okay, this one 123 minutes. Oh wow. Wait, no, that probably includes the extended cut. Oh no, it doesn't. Never mind. So okay, so the second movie is actually 9 minutes longer than the first. Huh, interesting. Yeah, for some, I guess it's because I watched the first half of the movie like last night and the second half today, so that's probably why the first movie felt uh, considerably shorter than the second one. But really, the second movie actually is much longer than the first. So yeah, but really, the second movie did feel a bit too long. But at least we got some interesting character development. But yeah, those are all the negatives I have too. So really, I'm actually glad. I honestly thought this Rantstream was gonna be as iffy as the Venom movie ones, where I was just kind of all over the place with my thoughts. But this one actually turned out better than I expected, even though I didn't actually write anything down beforehand. But but yeah, the Suicide Squad movies, both of them. Like I like both of them. Let me put this in the comments. Actually, let's get to the conclusion. I like both movies, so let's just say that now. I like the first one more than the second, or at least I used to. Let me just say at least, because now I don't really feel that way anymore. Uh, I think that oops, that the second one is better than the first. Yeah, the second movie is really what the first one should have been. I feel like the second movie is what the first movie should have been. I agree, and even the title implies that. But yeah, I like both movies. I guess you could say I used to like the first one more than the second. I guess the thing is that I like this. For some reason, I like the story of the first one more, but the second one has a better story. So that's how I feel. So the second one is technically better in almost every way. But but the first one, I still have some nostalgia for the first one, though. I guess that's why I feel this way. But the second one is subjectively better. So I would rate the Suicide Squad 6 out of 10. Since this, I would rate Suicide Squad. Sorry, 6 out of 10, and the Suicide Squad. Let me move that up to 7.5 out of 10. I feel like the movie deserves a bit more than that. Yeah, I feel like that's a fair rating. I wouldn't. I don't think I would give it an 8 because, to be honest, both movies to me feel like B level movies or B list movies, whatever you call those. But the second one is definitely better than the first, considerably so. So I would give that one a 7.5 out of 10. The second one, and the first one gets a 6 out of 10. 1.5 out of 4 stars for me. Damn. 3.5 out of 4 stars for me. Oh, okay. Hmm, cool. Maybe I'll move this one up to 8. I'm not sure. I want to give it an 8, but maybe I feel like that'd be too generous. I don't know. I might, I'm not sure if I would give this movie an 8. Maybe, fuck it. Let's give it an 8. Let's give this movie an 8. Fuck it. Why not? Let's give this movie an 8. I'll be nice to it. And I'm normally not nice to movies. Unless they're actually good. But this one was actually good, so I'll be nice to it. Okay, so you get a 6 and you get an 8. Those are my final thoughts. Rate the movies however you feel. I know, it's just like, I'm just, contemplating. But now I guess it's because I've actually, the second time watching a movie, I feel like I appreciate it more. So I'll give it an 8. An 8 is fine. But 8 at most. I don't think it deserves more than 8, but 8, but to me, I'm going to give it an 8. Anyway, that's. Oh, I forgot to put at the end slide. Oops. I meant to do that, but I literally forgot. That's because I was in a bit of a rush to make this, so. Anyway, the end. Okay, let's see. I should also mention that there was actually another Suicide Squad movie that was released in 2014 that tied into the Arkhamverse called, and it was called Batman Assault on Arkham. It's pretty good, but it's definitely more of a Suicide Squad movie than a Batman movie. And Assault on Arkham would probably be a 3 out of 4 stars for me. Oh, okay. It felt like they just called it Batman Assault on Arkham just to boost sales on that title. Yeah, misleading titles like that are never a good thing in my opinion. Where it's like, okay, let's name this thing. Let's give this thing a title that doesn't accurately reflect the work. Kind of like how, you have Sonic X, but it's actually Chris Thorndike and his friends. That's really what Sonic X is. It's not Sonic X, it's Chris X featuring Sonic and Friends. That's really what it is. And it's the same thing here with Batman Assault on Arkham. Even though I never watched Assault on Arkham, but, since Maple brought that movie up, I figured, why not compare it to Sonic X? Because it's basically the same thing. Anyway, but yeah, that's all I have left. I don't have anything left to say about the fucking um movies. So yeah, yeah. This was actually shorter than the last one. I thought it was going to take longer, but no, the last one was actually a lot longer. I was like, oh, okay. Probably because, although to be fair, a lot of it was spent ranting on other things. So, but yeah, like, wow. Okay, but yeah, that is the end of that. And others for other Suicide Squad related things, there's supposed to be a Suicide Squad game by Rocksteady with the subtitle "Kill the Justice League" that is now supposed to come out next February. Oh right, I forgot. There's supposed to be a new Suicide Squad game coming out, which I'm not interested in, if I'm going to be honest. But that's not really a surprise for those of you who know me, because really the only DC games I've ever played are the Arkham games. That's it. So DC I don't care much about, but yeah, I will get around to doing Arkham Knight next week, finishing that game up. Although it's really stupid how you have to collect all the trophies to beat the Riddler, but it is what it is. I can't do anything about it other than to just fucking do the trophy hunts. Which, by the way, would be the very first main title game that Rocksteady has released since Arkham Knight, which came out in 2015. Not gonna lie, I don't have much hope for that now since because of how long it's been in the makings. Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. Oh my god. Yeah, I'm glad I got these movies out of the way. I was gonna do Black Adam 2, but I'm sorry, but like I just didn't feel like watching 3 movies in the span of 2 days. So I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna do the Suicide Squad movies and maybe pair Black Adam with some other DC related movie, but I'm not even sure if I'm gonna cover Black Adam at this point in time. Maybe because I really do want to like save next week for like maybe I might need 2 streams to finish up Batman Arkham Knights. So I'm probably gonna like prioritize that, and then maybe I'll go back to movie Rantstreams for just like 1 stream and then continue from there. I don't know. continue with the other games from there. But what the fuck ever. Anyway, the Arkham trilogy from Rocksteady is getting a port on the Switch. I'm not. See, I would be excited, but no. It's just like I'll be excited, but no, because it's like Switch ports tend to be they tend to range from lackluster to just outright bad. Although there are exceptions like Dying Light. Dying Light actually works pretty well on the Switch, surprisingly. But then you have, and I actually have Dying Light on the Switch, but then you have flops like Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted, and it's just like I don't know. So if the Arkham trilogy comes to Switch, I just hope it doesn't suck. I'm just hoping that it doesn't suck because although to be honest, if it does come out on Switch, I might get it. I might get it because the funny thing is that I literally have it on my PC, on my PS4, and on my Xbox One. Like I have all of them. I don't know why, but I did triple dip. So maybe I'll get the Switch version out of curiosity. I don't know. I shouldn't be dipping this much. Like dipping for two consoles, double dipping makes sense, but like doing more than that, it's just overkill. But I don't know. I guess I'm just OCD like that, and I do buy these at a discount, so I'm not stupidly wasting my money every time. So yeah. Once again, Arkham Origins gets no love. I'm sorry, but to me, it's like it's just so mid. It was just such a mid game. It was such a mid game. It just pales in comparison to everything else. Like I want to like Arkham Origins. I gave it a chance, but I was like, no. Black Adam was so mid. It was, and I barely remember anything that happened in it. Me too. I mean, there was an awesome fight scene with the hot guy. I forgot what his name was. That's how irrelevant this movie is to me. There was this fight scene between that guy and Black Adam. This cool fight scene. That's it. That's I mean there are a few other cool scenes with Black Adam, but Black Adam is just it's just such a mid movie with such a mid character. And I don't think it's Dwayne Johnson's fault that his character was kind of trash. I feel like it was just the director's fault. So oops. Anyway, I might even do a comparison video between the PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch versions of the Arkham games. Although to be honest, other people are probably planning on doing that. But if it comes out on the Switch, cool. Maybe I'll get it because it'd be nice to have those games with me on the go. And Black Adam was such a bomb for The Rock, they went calling back to Vin Diesel in the Fast and Furious franchise. I'm not surprised because, to be honest, that's literally the franchise that he's most known for. So for him to try, like, I mean, at least he tried branching out and doing something else, but it didn't work for him. So I guess he goes back. He had to go back to what worked for him. Unfortunately, I feel bad for him because I don't think it's his fault. It's just that the movie was just so basic. Like if I were to rate it, I'd give it like a 6.5 out of 10. It's just that basic. I wouldn't even give it a 7. I don't think it deserves a 7. But I feel like anything less than a 6 would be harsh. So I'm tempted to just give it a 6.5 out of 10. And now Disney is pushing, and he's now pushing Disney to do a live action remake of Moana so soon. Fam, that's not a good idea. That is not a good idea. Like, it feels like he's just being desperate at this point. Like, fam, no, stop, just stop, please. Although he was also responsible for the resurrecting of the XFL and bringing back football to my home country. I mean, home city. Sorry. Okay, that's fair. Needless to say, I have a big love and hate relationship with The Rock. Fair. That's fair. That is fair. But yeah, Black Adam, so mid. Like, I'm sorry, but it was just very mid. I got it only because I wanted to do suit. I literally got I got the movie only because I don't know. I just felt like I was like, this movie's new. It's a DC thing. I might branch out into DC, so why the fuck not? And it didn't help that I literally did not even know who Black Adam was before I watched the movie. I knew about the Justice League, but not Black Adam. I said this before, but I'll say it again. I was like, who's Black Adam? I've never heard of him. Who? But whatever. But yeah, going back to the Suicide Squad movies again. The second one's better than the first. So yeah, I don't really have anything else to say. um, that's it for that's really it for this stream. Like, so I'm probably gonna take a bit of a break from movie rant stream so I can focus on Arkham Knight. You're better off just waiting for the reboot of the DC movie universe. I might as well. I might as well. I'm like, yeah, fuck it, why not? If I ever do get into DC, it's probably just gonna be centered around Batman. I feel like Batman's just the most interesting character out of all of them. Oh yeah, I forgot. The Teen Titans was a thing too, and Static Shock. Those shows were great. I liked them. Teen Titans Go no, but the original Teen Titans and Static Shock were great. And I literally didn't even know that Static Shock was DC until recently. I was like, oh, it's DC. Oh, interesting. Because I watched that show all the time as a kid, but I did not know that it was DC. I guess, although to be fair, I mean, if I had remembered more of it, I probably would have figured it out. But I don't remember much of it. So, so yeah. But literally, Batman, Superman, Teen Titans, and Static Shock, and a bit of the Justice League. That was like the only DC content I ever touched. So, yeah. Let's see. Superman Legacy in 2025, directed and written by James Gunn. Oh, okay, so that movie's going to come out in that year. The rest of the movies come out attached to the previous one: Blue Beetle, Aquaman 2, the Batman with Robin Pattinson is. Oh, there are also the other DC series that aren't connected to the main movie universe, such as Batman with Robin Pattinson, Joker 2, and whatever Teen Titans Go is nowadays. Right? Exactly. Yeah, there are DC series that aren't connected to the main movie universe. Yeah. Um. hmm. And there have been crossovers between Marvel and DC. Everyone knows that, um, but I'm trying to. I don't even think I remember any of them. So it's like, oh, cool. It's like, hey, Chima, what about the Catwoman game? We don't talk about the Catwoman game. Nobody wants to talk about the Catwoman game because it is trash. But Catwoman in Arkham City is fine. Anyway, that's how it's going to work. The DC installments that will be connected to the main DC timeline will be known as DC Universe. Oh, okay. Okay. Good. All right, let me just go ahead and stop this. Okay. Anyway, mm, anything else? No one wants to talk about the Catwoman movie either, lol. Right. I forgot about that. Damn, like, how are y'all gonna do Catwoman dirty? DC, what's up, DC? DC, what's going on? What's going on? Mm. And the installments that aren't connected to the universe will be known as DC Elseworlds. Oh, hmm, okay. Elseworlds. Basically the nowheres of DC. Nowhere for DC. No, I'm kidding. Okay, let me check something. Okay. Hmm. Oh my God, there's a new chapter. Ooh, I'm gonna read that shit. Moment. Let me check something else. Okay, that's not gonna work. Fuck. Okay, what about this? That's how DC plans to be more consistent in the future. Oh, okay. Okay, fair. Also, on a random note, we are finally getting a new Mario game at long last this year called Super Mario Brothers Wonders. Oh yeah, I think I saw something like that. I think I saw that mentioned on the Discord. The fuck? Okay. I think that was mentioned on the Discord. I mean, move out the way, damn. No, that's not what I wanted to. I'm all over the place. I clicked on the Messenger app. It said the Discord app. My bad. I haven't even seen the trailer for that game. But apparently, I think it was announced on Nintendo Direct. Let me look at. Let me see. It is. Let's see, go. Oh my God, there. Oh, Super Mario Brothers Wonder. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Maple, you posted it in the chat. Which I found interesting because normally I don't watch Nintendo Direct. I'm sorry, I just find it boring, generally speaking. But yeah, there are actually a few interesting titles mentioned. There are a few interesting titles that were mentioned, like Super Mario Brothers Wonder, and even the remake of Super Mario RPG Legend of the Seven Stars, which is my shit. I love that shit. And I'm like, oh wow, they are going to make a remake of it. Okay, I'm all for that because I love Super Mario RPG. It is such a great game. So it's nice to see that there's going to be a remake for it. And I'm definitely going to be getting that shit when it comes out on the Switch because I loved the first one so much, and I hope to see them to make to make the remake even better because the first one was great, but it did have a few issues, namely with like how Bowser ended up being an irrelevant ass character later in the game in terms of gameplay. Because early on he's a really good character, but as you play the game, he just sucks because his equipment is just shitty in that game. So, so you end up using Geno, Mario, and Peach for the rest of the game. Like Mario and Bowser are good early on, but then they just stagnate. And I'm just like, okay, okay, cool. Both Mario and Sonic are getting 2D games this year. All right, so apparently, apparently apparently Sonic. There's something called Sonic Central this time. Oh, it's going to take place on June 23rd, 2023. Okay, I didn't know about the Mario Wonders is coming out on the exact same day that Spider-Man 2 is coming out. Oh, huh. I didn't know that. Like, I think the release date was like what? I can't remember. November something? I do not remember. But yeah. Oh yeah, apparently Just Dance 2024 is coming out as well, which I cannot give two shits about because I have barely even touched Just Dance 2023. So, oops, not oops. October 20th. Ooh. Sonic Central is basically the Sonic version of Nintendo Direct. Oh, okay. Okay, that makes sense. Sonic Central, Nintendo Direct. Okay, cool. The more you know. So yeah, we have quite a few games that are going to be released this year. I can't wait for them. I think there was one more that was mentioned in the. Let me look. Oh yeah, even Tim had mentioned that the Batman Arkham trilogy was coming to the Switch. I'd somehow missed that. Anyway, Detective Pikachu's getting a sequel? Huh. Like I knew there was a Nintendo Direct, I just never watched them because I do not care for them. But I guess I would have enjoyed this one. Persona 5 Tactica? What is that? It's essentially pretty much Mario plus Rabbids. Oh. WarioWare's getting another game. I don't care about WarioWare, never cared about them. It, but huh, yeah, interesting. One thing that's interesting about Spider-Man 2, though, is that Venom in the game is not going to be Eddie Brock. If I had to guess, it's probably Harry Osborn, since the first game hinted at him in the connection to the symbiote. Oh, okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Let me drink some water. I didn't drink much of it. And as for other games right now, there was a handful of notable titles releasing this week, such as Crash Team Rumble, Sonic Origins Plus, and Final Fantasy 16. I stopped paying attention to Final Fantasy after I have 13. I mean, kind of I have like Final Fantasy 7, 8, 9, 10, 10 2, um, 13, 1, 13 2. Lightning Returns. So I know I do have some. I do kind of like Final Fantasy, but I wouldn't say I'm a big fan. I have some of the games, but not all of them. And 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 I know about Final Fantasy 15, which was quite the polarizing game from what I've heard. But Final Fantasy 16, I didn't even know there was going to be a 16. Or maybe I saw it somewhere. I don't remember entirely. Crash Team Rumble, I think I remember hearing about that, but I don't even but I'm not entirely sure. I didn't even know that Sonic Origins Plus was a thing though. I plan to play them all at some point, but not at this very moment. It looks like 2023 is going to be an interesting release for games. So, we got some interesting games coming. I'm probably gonna pass on Origins Plus right now since I already got the original. And the only things that were added, uh, the only things that are added are the Game Gear games and Amy as a playable character and getting her own super form. Kind of feels like the Mega Collection Plus, except a little less rewarding, a little less expansive. I don't know, but yeah, but yeah, like that. But yeah, Origins Plus. I'm not gonna get that either. I don't even have Sonic Origins. Maybe I'll get Origins Plus out of curiosity one at one point, but like, it's not a game I see myself wanting to get right away. Sonic Superstars. Now that might be interesting. That might be interesting. I might check that one out. Sonic Origins, I don't really care much about. It's going to have at least 12 zones and characters getting their own levels. Oh, nice. We ought to do that. We ought to have. It's about time we had something like that. I mean, so I'm glad Sonic Team's going in that direction. Because like some of their earlier games used to have like multiple characters with their own levels, but now it's been now it's been like just Sonic. But now we're bringing back the whole multiple characters thing, which is nice. You don't really need to get Origins unless you want to replay the original games like I did. Okay, good, because I don't care about I just don't care about Origins. Superstars does have me a bit interested. Origins, I couldn't care less about. Not because it's bad or anything, it's just that it's not really interesting for me. So, yeah. Any other games I'm excited about? No, really. Really, no. Other than the ones I mentioned, no. And we also can't forget the Frontier Story DLC that's going to come out some point this year. Oh, that's right, I forgot. We're not done with the DLC for Sonic Frontiers, which I need to get into. I think that's the next game I'm going to tackle after I finish up Arkham Knights. Yeah, that's the next game I'm going to tackle because I really do need to do that one. Because I'm only like a fifth of the way through the game and I need to go and do the other four zones. Well, not zones, islands. Islands, right? Yeah, islands. I will have a list of my favorite Sonic games by the 23rd to celebrate Sonic's 32nd birthday. 23rd, 32nd. Sorry, I just find that the digits swapping like that, I just find that funny. But yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot you're gonna mention um yeah, you're gonna make a list like that. And it's gonna come out on the 23rd, Sonic's birthday. Oh, which is a fitting way to which is it's a fitting way to like celebrate Sonic's birthday. I will agree with that. Like definitely a fitting way. It's like on Sonic's birthday, let me tell you my favorite Sonic games. I do know when I get a PS5, the first few games I plan to get for it is Ratchet and Clank Ripped Apart and Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Okay. I don't know what I would get because I haven't even looked at the library of PS5 games. So I honestly don't know. I do want a PS5 though. It's just that I don't want to get one right now. I want to wait a bit. But if I get one for free, you can bet I'll be playing that shit. I will be playing that shit. As long as it's not the digital edition, because ew. If it's a physical edition and I get it for free, I'm gonna be playing that shit. Or maybe at a really good discount. It's like I know that they're discounted right now, but to me it's like no. Just no. Sorry. I still don't want to spend that much. It's like they knocked off like $60 or $50 and it's like especially on the God of War Ragnarok bundle, and I'm just like, I want to play God of War Ragnarok, but not that badly. And plus, I can still play on the PS4, so it won't look as good, but I don't really care. I would like to play Spider-Man PS4 and Miles Morales on the PS5 though, because like I'm sure it would look good. Well, except for Peter's baby face, but other than that, the games would look really good. So many interesting games coming out. Why the hell does gaming have to be so damn expensive? I know it's annoying because it's like you want to get the newest console, but it's expensive. By the time you get it, the world will have moved on. It's just so dumb and unfair. It's like unless you're rich or at the very least pretty well off, good luck trying to play the latest games and getting the late and trying to get the latest consoles because that's not gonna happen. Because it's like I got a PS4, there's a PS5, and I'm just like, why? It's like I have an Xbox One, cool. We have the Xbox Series X. I'm like, well, I mean, to be honest, that one I'm not sad about. I don't care about the Xbox Series X or even the Xbox Series S. I don't care. Especially when the Xbox One X is almost as good as the Xbox Series S. Like, they're very close in terms of performance. So, oops. But I have the Switch OLED model, and I didn't have that at first. I had the original version 2 model at first, with the Fortnite Joy-Cons, but I gave that to my cousin, and I got an OLED model instead. Actually, no, I didn't get that to my cousin. I gave that to her boyfriend, and then I went and got the Switch OLED model, which is nice. The kickstand's a lot better. I like the black and white aesthetic. The screen is a little bit nicer and a little bit bigger, but otherwise it's the same damn console. But I like having it. And I have a whole black and white aesthetic going on with it. I need to post a picture of that shit on Discord because I have a picture of it. I just haven't posted it. Because I have a whole black and white aesthetic with my Switch going on here, and I really love it. Even my Joy-Con, even my console grip, that you put the console on so you can play it like a handheld, but with more comfort. Even that's black and white. So I need to post a picture of that shit because the whole setup looks really nice. And my Pro controller is also black and white because it's the Smash Ultimate version, which cost quite a bit, but it was worth it to me because it just matches with my Switch so well. I did play a bit of Spider-Man PS4 on the PS5 at a restaurant arcade on vacation. Oh yeah, you mentioned that. It looked amazing, but I still haven't gotten used to babyface Peter. Why did you change the face? Why? It didn't need to be changed. It really didn't need to. Like his original face was fine. It reflected his age. But now he looks barely older than Miles. I'm like, why? God. Anyway, I do want a PS5 though. The PS5 I am interested in getting. The Xbox Series X or S, no. I'm sorry, Microsoft, but your consoles are just not as interesting. They really aren't. Like, you had an awesome Xbox and even greater Xbox 360, but your Xbox One and Xbox Series consoles, I'm just like, no. They're basic. The only reason I even got an Xbox One X was because A, I wanted to play Just Dance without using a crappy PS4 camera or a crappy motion controller, and B, because of the backwards compatibility feature that a lot of the 360 games have. So yeah, the Xbox One for me was just an afterthought. I got a Switch before I got an Xbox One. But hey, I mean, at least with the Xbox One X, I can play like 4K discs on it, so that's nice. So I can watch 4K movies. Um, Although I'd have to get a TV to match the resolution though, because my TV goes up to 1080p, but whatever. So yeah, sorry Microsoft, but your consoles just aren't as interesting. I was like, really excited to get a PS4, and when my brother finally got it, and it was a Spider-Man bundle too, I was like, "Yes." But with the Xbox One X, I was like, okay, I have one. I mean, yay. And I remember exactly when I got it. It was when I was doing the Super Mario Odyssey live stream. It was one of those. But yeah, sorry, Microsoft, but your consoles just aren't as interesting, and the libraries don't really help either. Um, but the PS4 I was excited about, and I actually do kind of want to get a PS5. I was like, I want one, but I don't feel like I need one right now. Yeah, I don't know why they changed Babyface. Babyface Peter didn't need to be a thing. They shouldn't have changed it. They should not have changed Babyface, regular Peter to Babyface Peter in this Spider-Man game, the PS4 one, and the Miles Morales one. But whatever, it is what it is. I think that's all I have for. I can't think of anything else. I think I've talked about. I don't have anything. I've pretty much already said what I was gonna do for the next few weeks. Um, I don't really have anything else to say at this point. I don't know. But I am excited for the games that are coming out, and I do want to get a PS5 at some point. Physical edition, of course. But I kind of want to wait for a PS5 Pro because the PS4 Pro it looked so nice and it was almost comparable to a PS5 in terms of performance. So I kind of want to just wait until the PS5 Pro comes out. I think it's going to come out at some point in time, but I want to wait so that way I don't have to I don't want to get a PS5 and then feel like I downgraded myself, you know? So I'm just gonna wait. Damn it, YouTube, install an edit feature already. Yeah, they really do need to do that. They really should do that. Oh, you shared your ranking of Spider-Man movies on Discord. Okay. Let me see if I can find it really fast. I think it's under promote yourself. Right, the promote yourself channel. Yeah, here it is. I need to get back in Tears of the Kingdom as well. I do plan on playing that game at some point. It is discounted right now on Amazon. It's like $10 off. I want to get it, but I kind of want to wait for a bigger discount because to me it's like okay, now I can buy it at regular price, but I want to get it for a bigger discount because I don't know. I just feel like I guess I'm just tired of having to pay so much for games. So it's like I'm just gonna wait for a discount on Tears of the Kingdom before I even get it. I'm not in a rush to play it anyway. I haven't even finished Breath of the Wild, so like I'm not in a rush to get Tears of the Kingdom. Although I kind of, well, maybe I kind of am because it's like I want to try it out. I kind of want to try it out, and so like because it's just been released, so I want to try it out at least, and then so that it's just to get it out of the way because I did that with like Breath of the Wild, so like why don't I do it with this one? Ranking the Spider-Man movies. I like the picture you chose for this article, where you have Miles Morales and then Tim Holland Spider-Man, then Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, and then Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. Okay. Oh shit. Okay, so your number 10 is The Amazing Spider-Man, the first movie. Your number 9 is probably the sequel, yeah, The Amazing Spider-Man 2. I'm just scrolling through this. Spider-Man Homecoming would be number 8. Spider-Man Far From Home would be number 7. Spider-Man 3 would be number 6. Wow, you rated Spider-Man 3 higher than Far From Home and Homecoming? I would have rated it less than that. I know I said I actually kind of like the movie, but to be honest, I feel like Spider-Man 3 is even worse than Homecoming and Far From Home, but that's just my opinion. Although Far From Home is kind of a mess because when you think about it, it kind of doesn't make any sense. It's like, how can a guy like Mysterio have such advanced technology that he's literally able to replicate natural disasters? How does that work? But whatever. Spider-Man number 5, the first Spider-Man movie by Sam Raimi trilogy. Okay. No Way Home would be number 4. Okay. Across Spider-Verse would be number 3. Okay. Spider-Man 2 would be number 2. Okay. and Spider-Man 1 would be Into the Spider-Verse. Okay, okay. Honestly, I would say if I were to my list would be Across the Spider-Verse as number one. Uh, Into the Spider-Verse is number two. Spider-Man 2 is number three. Let's see what else. No Way Home is number four. Actually, I'll put No Way Home above the first Spider-Man movie. No, sorry, above Spider-Man 2. Actually, no. No, I don't know. To me, they kind of tie. Fuck it. I'll just keep going. So I guess, yeah, number four would be No Way Home for me. Number five would probably be. Let me go down the list here. Actually, I'd probably agree with you for the rest of the list. Although I would personally put Spider-Man 3 below Homecoming and Far From Home. So you have numbers. So like to me, it would be like number five would be the first Spider-Man movie from the original trilogy. Number six would be Far From Home. Number seven would be Homecoming. Number eight would be Spider-Man 3. Number nine would be The Amazing Spider-Man 2, and number 10 would be The Amazing Spider-Man. So like so like my list is different from yours in some like half the list is different basically. But that's just me. Yeah, that's the thing. Like the first three in this list could literally be shuffled around. It's hard to compare them all when they're all good. I just feel like Spider-Man 3 has higher highs than. Let me go back to. Let me pop this chat out. Okay. I feel like Spider-Man 3 has higher highs than Homecoming and Far From Home. Fair. Homecoming, if does Homecoming was a bit of a lackluster movie because Spider-Man just didn't get a chance to come to his own, unfortunately, in that movie. Well, sort of, because it was really more about Iron Man than about Spider-Man, unfortunately. Far From Home was better, but it could have been better. To be honest, it's really only the first Amazing Spider-Man that I could never find myself rewatching or finding enjoyment in. Because to be honest, like objectively speaking, it's probably the worst one of all these films. Or at least one of the worst ones. It's definitely. I feel like it's a little worse than Spider-Man 3. I wouldn't say by a whole lot because Spider-Man 3 is pretty bad, but 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 like the Amazing Spider-Man was just. I don't think it's much worse than Spider-Man 3 or the Amazing Spider-Man 2 for that matter. Those three movies, in my opinion, are just the worst ones. But the others range from all right to great. Well, yeah, that would be my list. Hmm. But yeah, good list, Maple. I will read the article in more in depth later, but good list. I mean, I would place some of the movies differently, but that's just me. Again, like it's a personal list for both of us. I will say one thing: Tom Holland did finish strong with No Way Home. I will say that because even though Homecoming and Far From Home could have been better, No Way Home was great. It was great. It was great. So there's that at least. I think Amazing 2 is a bit better than 1, but only a bit better, not by much. Although I'd say I probably like the first Amazing Spider-Man movie more than the second, but the second is better than the first. But not by a whole lot, because I do like both movies, and they're both bad, but like they're to me like in both cases there's really not much of a difference. So really to me they're about the same. The second is better than the first, but not by a whole lot. Be warned, I didn't really edit that article, so you might find plenty of grammar errors here. Okay, that's fine. Ellie, thanks for the warning anyway. Um, Far From Home. People think Far From Home is worse than Homecoming. No, it's not. I agree with you, Maple. It is not. Far From Home. I mean, yeah, it is subjective, at least somewhat. But like, I think Far From Home was better than Homecoming. I mean, Homecoming was nice, but Far From Home was better in my opinion because it was. I mean, Iron Man was so important in that movie, but Peter got to do more shit. So yeah, I think Far From Home is actually better, even if it makes less sense. I still think it's better. And speaking of the future of Spider-Man with Tim Holland, there was a release date confirmed for 2025 from Sony for the next movie, but the production is put on hold due to the writer's strike. Plus, Tom Holland himself has actually said he's taken a year off of acting. I think that's the best thing for him at this point because he's already been in three movies. He needs a break because like it's really draining to do a lot of stuff like that in a short, well, not really a short period of time, but like consistently. Although I'm sure he did take some small breaks here and there, but like he's just done a trilogy. He needs break. He needs a break. Like because he does like you don't want to overwork yourself. So yeah, I think it's a good idea for him to take a break from acting and to just go and enjoy himself. So that way he can come back fully refreshed and ready to do more. Because if you keep trying to work yourself through all these, it's not going to work out for you well in the long run if you keep trying to work yourself like this. I just hope that they make more movies with Spider-Man in the uh, MCU. I hope they include characters such as Black Cat, Yuri, and Miles Morales. I agree because we do need to see more of those characters. Black Cat is a cool character, as well as Yuri, aka the Wraith, and Miles Morales. We need more of them. And we also have villains that have yet to be in the live-action Spider-Man movies, such as Kingpin, Hammerhead, Tombstone, Silver Sable, Chameleon, etc. Fair. Although to be fair, finding somebody to do Kingpin is going to be pretty difficult. You'd have to find a really big guy, but I'm sure it can be done. It's just going to be hard to do. I've even made up ideas of what I would do with the next three movies if it were up to me. Oh, okay. I might share those ideas in later stream. I would like to hear them, actually. They might actually be good. Oh yeah, and I forgot about the writer strike thing. Well, that's going to cause problems. Oh well. I mean, shit happens. They already have a Kingpin in the MCU though. Oh, they do? Never mind then. Sorry, I'm not really well versed to the MCU, so oops. He's played by, let me look this character up. Vincent Donofrio. What the fuck? I'm sorry if I butchered that. Oh my god. How tall is this bitch? 6'4". Fair. So the same height as Dave Bautista from the Guardians of the Galaxy series. Okay. He looks like he can fit the role. Yeah, I see it. He played the character in the Daredevil Netflix show and appeared in Hawkeye. Oh, I didn't know that. And I believe he's going to show up in a few other shows as well. I just hope they don't kill him off completely before they put him in the Spider-Man movie. I hope so too, because that would suck. Let me close out of that. That Yeah, I think I'm gonna like take a break from rant streams for a bit because I really do need to finish up Arkham Knights because I do need to do that. So that'll be what I'll. That's what I'm gonna be working on next week, and then I don't know. I might just skip Black Adam altogether and just fucking work on Sonic Frontiers. That's probably what I'm gonna do. And once I do Sonic Frontiers, I'll do Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance. No, Just Dance 2023, and then Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance. Yeah, I'll do that. And yeah, yeah, those are my plans. I really have nothing else to say. We're just talking, which is fine. I don't mind. We're just talking. That's all I really got now. That's fair. That's fine. I do appreciate these updates though, because I've like these updates are actually getting me more interested in the MCU and maybe even in DC because as I've said multiple times, DC just doesn't interest me that much. Marvel already doesn't interest me that much, and DC less, even less so. But I might actually check out some of the shit that you've mentioned, Maple. So yeah, yeah, skip Black Adam, please. Yeah, I might as well. Now I'm gonna shower, have dessert, and watch a movie before going to bed. I'm gonna work on my story before going to bed. So we're gonna have some. And I'm gonna have some dinner too. My mom made pasta in the fridge, and it's in the fridge. I'm gonna go and eat that shit. So we are done here. But yeah, I'm glad I talked about the Suicide Squad movies at least. Glad to revisit them. Although it hasn't been that long since I watched the second movie, like a little over a year, and like 7 years ever since watching the first. But what the fuck ever. But yeah, that's all I have to say. Think about watching either Mario or John Wick 4. Oh, I know how much you I know how much you like those movies, so either way, you're in for a treat. I think you've told me that you like them. So so yeah. Enjoy your movies. I've had enough movie watching for one day, so I'm gonna go and do something else. But yeah, that's really all I have left to say too. So if that's it, I guess we'll just go ahead and call it a night. Anyway, yeah, that's it. Oh well, yep, yeah. See, so you're in for a treat either way. But yeah, that's it. Thank you all so much for watching this rant stream. This is probably gonna be the last one I'm gonna do for a while. Like next week, we're gonna try to do Arkham Knight, finish up Arkham Knight, and then after the week after that, we will start doing Sonic Forces. Not Sonic Forces. Ew, ew, ew. I already did Sonic Forces anyway. Sonic Frontiers. Sonic Frontiers. And then Just Dance 2023, and then Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance, which I'm not looking forward to, but whatever. I have to do it at one point. So, yeah. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Until next time, I'm Timberland15, and I'll see you guys next time. Until then, deuces. Bye.